I'm now in my 30s and finally decided to release music that I made in my early 20s. Before all of this, I was heavily involved into music, primarily with rap, hip hop, R&B, and pop, and I went by the stage name Fizz. Until this very day, many of my friends and people that know me, including a few of my fans, still refer to me as Fizz. Throughout my years of making music, I've only dropped one body of work, which was over a decade ago, and a few singles here and there. So why now? And why wait so long? Well, it's been such a delay because I have this problem with perfection where I keep working on something over and over and over and over until I think it's perfect, especially when it comes to my production and the art that I'm creating. I hate to admit it, but I was also afraid of people critiquing the songs, and worst of all, just nobody wanting to listen to it. I also wanted to promote it properly and accompany it with some visuals, as most music rollouts usually do. I decided to get into photography and videography for one reason. I needed content done in a way that made me happy to release it. I worked with some people early on to help create some of these visuals, and as grateful as I am for their work, it just wasn't what I wanted. I knew that we had little to no budget, but I felt like we could have been much more creative and had much more fun in the process. So I took it upon myself to learn the basics. And as I learned more about photo and video, the more I fell in love with it, and I felt like I just had a knack for this. If I could somehow fuse all of these creative processes together, I felt like I'd have the skills I needed to put my content out the way I wanted it to. Throughout the process, I ended up creating visuals for other musicians to help bring their visions to life and use it as an opportunity to hone my skills too. However, it took so long that as I got older, time became more precious, bills rolled in, I needed steady income, I fell in love, got married, and life just took me a different direction. I was so busy creating content for other people that I forgot why I got into it in the first place. I decided to go back to my entire catalog, and as I listened to each song, it felt like it was just yesterday where I recorded, wrote, produced every single one of them. As each song progressed, it took me back to those days and those phases of my life. Phases. It then hit me that that's what I'm gonna name my body of music. Phases. I wrote songs about my first loves, my heartbreaks, mistakes, fun times, bad times, new love, different moments in my life, and they all just represent a piece of me, an emotion and experiences at that time in my life that I recorded them. And as I revisit the songs, I continue to make tweaks to the production because I knew some of it was outdated, and I felt like I now had the skills to create what I wanted it to sound like. As I mentioned before, I used to be very afraid of critique and very afraid of failure. But I'm now in a state where even if no one cares about it, buys it, likes it, or whatever, I'm okay with it. I'm just happy that I was inspired enough with the experiences in my life to be able to write and produce all of this music. I'm grateful for the reminder that I was once young, reckless, wild, expressive, and best of all, alive. I'm also grateful now that it's much less of a headache to put out music compared to back in the day where you needed big labels and giant budgets to even think about creating and releasing music. Now I can just finalize all my music, upload it to TuneCore, which isn't sponsoring this by any way, but they've just been wonderful to work with. Then I just touch up my visuals and within a few clicks, release. Now, if you do decide to listen to the music, I hope you'll feel the love I felt, the heartbreaks, the longings, the fun times, the excitement, and the things I felt in those phases of my life. For anyone who still cares and has been with me throughout this journey, thank you so much for waiting, and I hope you'll enjoy the music. For everyone else, I hope you'll give it a shot and just give it a listen and enjoy the music along with the visuals that are going to come with it. I'm finally deciding to put all of this out as proof that all these skills that I have acquired and everything that I learned wasn't for nothing. And hopefully it'll inspire someone out there in the world to say, hey, if this person did it, so can I. As always, thank you all so much for watching, for listening, and for your time. All the links to the music and the visuals are listed down below. And as always, this is your boy Fong, Fizz for my stage name, FL Productions, and I'm out. Until next time, peace. Thank you.